From the Skyview Motorsports desk, I'm Ray J. Akers. With me, I have Steve Schweitzer of the Lasco Press. I have Kelly Crandall, who's everything and all over NASCAR. And of course, from Kicking the Tires, Jerry Jordan. Hey, in our last episode, we took a look at the streets of Chicago. NASCAR, they move on. They're moving on to Sonoma, second straight street course. It's going to be interesting. Right in the middle of the bracket challenge. Jerry.
Well, anytime we turn left and right, I'm a Michael McDowell fan. However, going to Sonoma, Denny Hamlin's got a good history. You know, he can run it. Kyle Larson's another one. Oh, yeah, there's that SVG guy that won last week. So, you never know. It should be fun.
Kelly.
Well, I think with all due respect, right, you have to start with SVG. He won the Xfinity race at Sonoma last year. He's now won the last two Cup Series races at Mexico City and on the streets of Chicago. So I think you have to give him his due, give him his flowers, and say that he's probably going to be the favorite again this weekend. But Jerry mentioned Michael McDowell. I completely agree with that. I think that team has shown in Mexico and at Chicago that they can run well. They just have to put the complete race together. Christopher Bell won at COTA earlier this year. Alex Bowman is a decent little road racer. Same thing for Ryan Preece, Chris Buescher. I mean, Kyle Busch can be in the list goes on. Honestly, I think it's going to be another weekend where do you take SVG or the field at this point?
Steve.
Well, let's not forget about the guy who finished second last Sunday, Ty Gibbs. This kid is just chomping at the bit to get into victory lane. We saw what he was willing to do to win an Xfinity Series championship. And, if he's hanging around at the end and has got an opportunity, he can make a pretty wild finish of it.
Yeah, Tyler Reddick is also someone who's been right up there at Sonoma. I did check a couple of the drivers out. I'll have to check Jerry on Denny Hamlin. No top 20s in the last four races. Just saying, but it can always turn around for anybody out there. I'm certainly not Nostradamus. That's why I'm sitting here right now. But taking a look at a few other drivers as well, I like what Steve said about Ty Gibbs. Ty is really coming on at the right time. And when you talk about ebbs and flows in the season, a month ago, it was Carson Hocevar. I mean, you couldn't get away from the conversation. Negative, positive, but about his race performances. He caused a big wreck early at the streets of Chicago, and nobody's talking about him like they are Ty Gibbs. Things change all the time in this particular race. Sonoma is, it seems like it's a big favorite, Kelly, isn't it, with a lot of the drivers and a lot of the NASCAR crowd?
Yeah, well, I think that's more for the location and going to California, and there's plenty to do out there. But yeah, there's some drivers, of course, that love road racing more than others, right? And Sonoma has been on the schedule for so long that, yeah, there's a lot of folks that love it, right? It's become just a familiar, friendly place. So the guys who love road racing and who are good at road racing are going to be the ones that you're going to see in the picture. And you mentioned Ty Gibbs, Tyler Reddick, right? It's all the guys that we just mentioned. And there's others like Denny Hamlin, who I know, Jerry is high on him, but he would tell you he's not a road course racer. He might love going to Sonoma because it's Sonoma, but he's not good on the left and right. So, it's a great course. It's a great location. So like I said, it's kind of become, it's an old favorite for some.
Look, okay, number one, the drivers like going to Sonoma because their wives like going to Sonoma. That makes them happy, and they go out and have little wine parties and go around in limos all weekend and do that. However, Denny Hamlin, it's been a while, but he was second in 2016, fourth in 2017, 10th in 2018, fifth in 2019, eighth in 2021, and then it goes to hell. So, I mean, he's got some chops when it comes to getting top tens at Sonoma. He just hasn't been able to put it together. He did start on the pole in 2023.
Well, there you go. I think what we should do for Denny Hamlin is just tell him Sonoma's Pocono. He'll be all right. So there you go with that. Steve, you got some comments there before we move on?
No, it's pick on Jerry day, so I don't.
No, we're not picking on Jerry.
I don't think that Denny Hamlin is going to be in my.
I'm loading up on Denny Hamlin this weekend. DraftKings, where are you at? I'm loading up right now.
Our family stories are your family stories, except with more confetti. Relive racing history with a walk along Glory Road, or try your hand at our fan favorite racing simulator or pit crew challenge. Feel the passion and thrill of racing with stories and artifacts from the legends who shaped the sport in the Hall of Honor and Heritage Speedway.
Visit the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte for the ultimate outing. NASCAR Hall of Fame, this is our sport. This is our house.
You know, a couple drivers, I don't know how they're going to do this week, but let's talk who's hot and who's not just before we get to a final quote today. Ryan Preece, holy smokes, this guy is on a run, everybody. He's having a career best year. He finished 7th for his best result on a road course, and he's now only 2 points away from being in the playoffs. Holy smokes, that's got 3 drivers that are hot right now for RFK Racing.
Well, I mean, I would take 2 of the 3. I think Brad Keselowski still has, I mean, listen, still got some work to do. That team is very hot or cold this year. They're very inconsistent, but they have a lot of potential, and Brad will tell you that. But the problem is, you know, there's potential versus results, and the results have just been all over the board for that team. Chris Buescher and Ryan Preece, though, look like they can win on any given weekend, and it's been really impressive to see how solid Chris Buescher and the 17 team have been throughout the last couple years, and then you add in a third new team, and how good Ryan Preece and the 60, Derek Finley, everybody has come out of the box. So at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if either one of them won a race. I wouldn't be surprised if either one of them won this weekend, as we were talking about a minute ago, of kind of drivers to watch. So Brad's got some work to do, but that team, again, they have some good weekends and they have some weekends where they completely fall off. But for the 17 and the 60, I mean, it's just been incredibly impressive what they're doing.
Hey, Kelly, real quick, I got a question about, didn't Buescher edge out SVG last year at the Glen?
That's right.
See, Buescher's another one of those secretive road course guys.
Thank you for stealing that comment, because Buescher, I looked at Sonoma. He actually has, I think, 4 top 10s in the last 4 races, including 2 top 5s. So he has to be on the short list of somebody that's realistically, as long as he stays out of the soup, he's going to finish the race. And NASCAR, you don't have all the wrecks and all the cautions that you have, you know, on most of the road courses that you have on, you know, the ovals and Talladega and that kind of thing. Any other comments on this? Anybody who's hot, who's not?
Well, nobody mentioned Chase Elliott. You know, he's again, he's kept his top 20 streak alive. Finished, what was it, 16th or 17th at Chicago. And, you know, coming off that win in Atlanta, you know, Chase likes the road courses. He might be able to pop up there and put himself in position to grab another one.
And so with that, let's go ahead and take a real quick break. And in 30, when we come back, we're going to be talking to Erik Jones. He's going to be talking about his rise and the team's rise, and doing much better in the with Legacy Motorsports and the races and so forth. So we'll have Erik. That's on the flip side.
Toyota has 3 NASCAR Cup teams, 2311 owned by these 2, but this guy actually races for his team. And they both share the track with the team owned by this guy. 3 teams, 4 legends, all going after 1 cup. Now you're up to speed. You in?
Well, we have kind of waiting for us right now Erik Jones, driving the iconic 43 for Legacy Motorsports. Both he and John Hunter Nemechek have also done, they've really improved their performance this year. But right now, Erik Jones, tell you what, your performance is up there, and I understand that you're talking a lot to Matt Kenseth right now. He's also giving you a lot of great advice. What's going on out there with Legacy Motorsports in the 43?
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of in a tough spot, right? We're 39 points out of the playoffs, which is kind of, that's eight really good races. I believe 8 races is what's left. But obviously a win would be great, but I feel like there's a couple of tracks we really have to target hard on what places are that we can win at. So for us, I mean, it's just doing what we're doing. If we keep running the way we've ran since Charlotte, you know, we'll probably point our way in, barring another kind of obscure winner farther back in points. So that's the plan right now, is just to keep running well and keep racking these points up. I hope it goes well again this weekend. So kind of 3 strange weeks here, Sonoma and Dover. So it's going to kind of make or break us. You know, 1 bad race. You know, Sunday, if we have a race where something goes wrong, we don't score any good points, I mean, it's kind of over unless a lot of other people have bad races too. So we've been on a great roll, tons of momentum. I mean, it's easy to look at it right now and say it's going to keep going, but you don't know how things ebb and flow. So pointing our way in is number one goal, but we're banking hard on a couple of races that we can win too.
Anybody have a comment from Erik Jones telling us a skinny on his rise and how we think he might do the rest of the season?
Well, I'll tell you, Roy, Eric's one of our favorite drivers because he's from Michigan, but it's been a tough couple of years for Legacy Motorsports. But pencil him in for Daytona. He always runs well at that track. If Erik has a chance to make the playoffs this year, I think that'd be the spot that he could sneak in.
I see they're doing a lot of stuff over at Legacy. Kelly probably knows way better than I do, but there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes, a lot of changes, a lot of improvement. And I just expect that. Jimmy's a perfectionist. Some people don't like that. But I think that I think you're going to see continued results from that organization.
Kelly.
Yeah, I mean, as the saying goes in racing, it's never one thing. It's always a mixture of a lot of things to make improvements. And that's what it's been going on for Legacy Motor Club. It's personnel, it's culture, it's parts and pieces, it's resources, it's data, it's the right drivers, the right crew chiefs. It's putting all it's not only having the puzzle pieces, but you have to put them obviously in the right places, right? So what's been impressive for Erik Jones and the 43 team is they're doing a lot of things, a lot of the small things right, such as earning a lot of stage points, and that's helping them in their overall standings right now and why he's in the picture to try to get in the playoffs. On the other hand, you have John Hunter Nemechek, who's a little bit lower in points, but has more top 10 finishes because that's a team that just grinds away all day, and they've been there in the picture as the race winds down. So I recently did a story with John Hunter, and he told me that the exact same thing. It's a lot of things that are going right over there from people, processes, culture, everything that I just said. So it's never one thing, it's a lot of things. And I think what you're seeing from Legacy Motor Club is just the continued effort that they know they have a long way to go still. And there's a lot of different things they could be doing and trying to get there. And they're making all the changes that they have to.
Last year, Denny Hamlin made the comment, he was talking about Kyle Busch, and when Kyle wasn't running well, he basically says, you got to run well to win. He says, you're not going to be in last place a bunch of races or getting crashed out, and all of a sudden you're going to win a bunch of races. Do you feel, Kelly, Jerry, and Steve, I like your comment, Kelly, because it sounds like he's running up front. You got to do some of that, and eventually, if you throw enough nails at the wall or enough darts at the board, eventually you're going to break through and get a win.
Yeah, I think they need to be running obviously a little bit better and closer to the front for that to happen to capitalize. But there is clearly improvement from 2024 to 2025. Whereas last year they were scratching and clawing for 30th, 25th, 20th, where this year they are much more consistently in the top 20, top 15. The next step is consistently in the top 10. And once you get there and you get to the top 5, it becomes much easier to put yourselves in position to try to capitalize and win races. So I personally don't know if they're there just yet. I think it's much more impressive, as I said, the improvement from year to year. And it's the cliche, you have to crawl before you can walk, you have to walk before you can run. They're taking those steps and they're getting there. It's taking time, right? Nothing comes quick in this business, but the overall improvement is the first part of it. And clearly they have done that from 2024 to 2025.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
Thank you, Jerry.
I was just going to say one thing. Nothing in this industry, I don't think I've ever seen a team that just goes from bad to good overnight. To Kelly's point, it's a slow process to go fast in NASCAR.
Steve.
Yeah. There's a lot of, as Kelly said, a lot of work going on behind the scenes. And, Jimmy Johnson's a winner. We know he's a winner. It's just eating him up that they're not running more consistently than they are. He'll get it together. I'm pretty confident in that.
Okay, so with that, let's do a wrap on our episode. We like that, Kelly. We'd love to have you come back. Same thing, Jerry. Of course, Steve, you're here every week as well as I am. And you guys come back at some point?
Absolutely.
Sure,
Yeah,
I'm happy to. Kelly, what real quick, what camera are you using? Because okay, you got three guys in here that have look like they have freaking, ugly filters on them, but you're like crisp and clear, and your glasses are sharp. Your hair, I can see the individual hairs on your in your head. I'm like, what the hell are you using for a camera?
I'm just on my laptop, buddy, but I did change the background filter, so I think that helps a little bit.
Well, you also freaked me out with the monster in the closet thing too. So yeah.
It's just bags and storage.
I love it.
Nice to have a pretty face amongst the three ugly mugs, that's for sure.
Yeah. So here's how we're going to do it. Steve, how can we read you and see you and everything else?
TheLascoPress.com, as always.
And Jerry Jordan.
Jerry Jordan, you can find me kicking the tires at kickingthetires.net or at Jerry Jordan _KTT on Twitter, kicking the tires on Twitter, and call me 409-498-1074. I don't mind giving out my phone number. Just, if you call me in the middle of the night, I may be asleep. Probably not.
It's only 99 cents a minute to call Jerry.
That's right. 99 cents a minute. I'm capitalizing, baby. I'll tell you whatever you want to hear.
And Kelly Crandall, she's going to give us a couple of her taglines. Check out her cookbook. We're going to have to feature that. I can hardly wait, man. I'm going to have the ribs on parboil as soon as I find out more.
Hey,
Go ahead,
Kelly, you want me to give out your number?
No, please don't.
Oh, God.
Or if you don't want to be friends anymore, go ahead and do that. That'll be the quickest way. Yes, NASCAR Race Day Eats is coming in October. You can pre-order it now. Barnes & Noble, Amazon. Just plug it in Google and it will very easily come up. As for me, Racer.com, freelance on ESPN.com every month. You can hear me on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio and at Kelly Crandall basically across all social media handles. So it's pretty easy to find me.
It's awesome to have three hard card members joining us out here on. Just thank you so much for joining us. You all have yourselves a great night. And so with that, we'll check out everybody. I think next week we're going to have the results from Sonoma. And that I think we're moving on to Dover. And then whatever else is going on in the world of NASCAR, we'll be there and we'll have it for you.
He is just darting all around. AJ Allmendinger trying to win his way to the postseason. Hamlin's right there.